Hey everybody, this is Kayla with Becky's Graphic Design in Nashville, Tennessee. Today I'm going to do a feature on a really cool tool called TextStitch by Rorohiko. This tool allows us to rethread separated pieces of text, or rather the text frames, all back into one text frame. I had a very large project in which each of the elements of each page were all divided up. I really needed to collect all of that text and to flow it together into primary text frames. This would have been very difficult to do without this tool. So let's check it out. This is where you can find this tool. Here is the URL at the top. On this page is instructions for how to install TextStitch. I have found that I only need to do steps 1 through 2. You may find that you need to follow through with step 3. I have not personally experienced that, but the first thing we need to do is to download this zip folder. We also need to download the correct version of this API tool assistant. We're going to utilize this one for my particular machine. In my downloads, we're going to extract this folder, and we're also going to extract this folder. The next thing we need to do is navigate to the plugins folder in our InDesign location. On my machine, I have all of my applications installed here in my applications drive. I'm going to navigate to my plugins folder. In my plugins folder, I need to create a folder called Rorohiko. Okay, now in my plugins folder, I have my Rorohiko folder. On a side note, make sure that you have InDesign closed when you do this. That's one of the things in the instructions. I'm going to go back to my extracted folder, and we need to make sure that all of this stuff goes into our folder. There we go. The last thing we need to do is go grab our TextStitch application. We're going to cut that, put it right here with the rest of everything else. When you're said and done with everything, this should be what your folder looks like. Make sure that you are in your Adobe InDesign plugin folder. You have all 4 of these items in here. And lastly, you have your TextStitch file as well. The last thing we need to do is install a plugin installer. This is where you can find the URL for this one. I need to download the Windows 10 on Intel version for myself. And we got to make sure that we have an account with plugin installer. I'm going to extract my zip folder here. Next, we need to run the executive file. All right, here's where we need to enter our user account information. If you are new to this software, then you are going to need to fill out your information and then register it. So I click the new button here at the bottom, and I'm going to fill out my account information. I'll skip over this and edit so y'all can't see my stuff. Then, of course, when you're all done, you're going to click OK. After that, you're going to see your account stuff here at the top. The next thing we have to do is wait for an email to come in. At the bottom of the screen, you will see a button for register. That is what you must click in order to get your email registration. It will take a few minutes for it to come in. All right, here is what your account registration will look like. I'm going to click this link here to confirm, and it says registration completed successfully. All right, now we can go back to our application, and we see here at the top we get a little happy face. That means that our account is ready to go. Next, I am going to move the plugin installer to another location on my machine. All I need to do to reconfigure the installer is to open and close the program again. That will rewrite everything to the proper file locations. I'm going to cut this here, and I'm going to put it somewhere, my applications folder. Okay, so after realizing that I had downloaded the last version and not the most recent, you'll see here that now the numbers say 18. Now that I have updated to the correct files in here, and I still have TextStitch in here in addition, we have activated our installer. And now the next time we launch InDesign, we see that there's a nice little API button up here. It will recognize that we have TextStitch placed into the plugin folder, and we're going to activate TextStitch. We're going to click OK. And now let's go back to our little full file here. In order to use TextStitch, we will launch it from this little API button at the top. TextStitch has several options. We can configure the settings There are not a ton of them, but they're very important. So we want to auto stitch the text frames throughout the whole document or on the current spread. I'm going to click the whole document. We would like to insert a frame break. So if we insert a frame break, this is going to add a carriage return in between each of the frames as it goes along, instead of running the text all together. This is an important thing to consider as well. You may want to break up your threaded stories before running TextStitch. Now, TextStitch can unstitch as well. You can thread everything together, or you can unthread everything. You may want to consider unthreading all of the text frames before you begin. I don't have anything threaded, so I don't need to worry about these. I'm going to click OK. Back up here at the top, I'm going to tell the API to auto stitch. It's going to give me a dialog box. Thread any unthreaded text frames throughout the whole document. Yes. Okay. Now, it doesn't look like anything happened here. That's because we cannot see our text threads. Let's go up to View, Extras, Show Text Threads. We can see that all of these have threaded from the top and the left-hand sides. Even if there is an overlap like this, it has still collected everything properly. Now, what if I wanted all of this text to flow one after the other, as it would in a book document? We're going to get rid of those frame breaks. So to do that, we are going to open up our Find Change with Control F. Let's flip over to our grep tab, and we're going to tell Find Change to look for all frame breaks, which are indicated by a tilde-R. And we're going to change that to a standard carriage return, which is a tilde-B. We're going to go ahead and hit Change All. And now our text is all in one box. We can get rid of these. And now it's much easier for me to flow my text through my entire book without having to worry about all of those separated text frames. Now, there are a couple of other cool things we can do with this API. For example, let me draw a couple of other text boxes here. It has something called Quick Stitch. What happens when we click Quick Stitch? It is going to begin highlighting each of these frames in black. The order in which we click them is what it is going to use for the order of threading them. So not only can you auto unstitch all of your frames, or auto stitch all of your frames, you can also customize the order in which your frames are threaded. So this is a really cool tool, something that's extremely useful when you do need it. Make sure you go give them some love, try out the product, see if you like it, maybe give them a donation if you're feeling generous. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on another link over here on the side. That lets YouTube know that our videos are important and worth caring about. I hope y'all found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.